This year, what you're seeing him get the ball out of his hands quickly, making decisive decisions. He does a great job of his pocket presence, moving to evade pressure. I mean, he's in real command of their offense right now, and his numbers are showing it.
Does this look a little bit more catered to him than maybe last year? Last year he kind of came in, I think it might have been the third game that he
Yeah.
played.
Maybe just another, he's the starter now, and he's been the entire season, and it's just maybe him getting comfortable in the offense and the system. But he's playing really good football.
Hey Ryan, how encouraging was it for you to see Tyron make a play on the ball the way he did last week, and just kind of what y'all expected out of him?
Yeah, no, he played really good for the entire game. That's been in his career. He's played like that, made plays like he made the other day, and we'll see him make some more here in the future.
Especially when the offense has had its own problems with turnovers. Is that an emphasis y'all are putting on the team to force more of them?
Well, it is. It's every week, because it's one of our core principles is taking the ball away. But yeah, we have to create more takeaways. We got to punch the ball out more. We have to have more importantly, ball disruption. Make the quarterback throw it early, late, get the offense, not playing on time. That's when the takeaways come.
Ryan, how important when you talk about forcing turnovers, is it to emphasize that and yet not try to overdo it, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, there's a fine line, but every week we have a takeaway circuit, and we're showing hey, this is how the ball comes out, and interceptions and cause fumbles and strip sacks and things like that. So you're just studying how it happens, and then you get a drill and go out and practice it that way, and hopefully it shows up on that Sunday.
We've heard a little bit about how important, obviously, the fundamentals are when it comes to great turnovers, but also mentality.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your perspective on that idea about what the role that mentality plays in generating turnovers.
Yeah, I think when you play hard and violent, I think that's when the ball comes out. When you make an intent to make a tackle and run your feet through and not fall to the ground, and then see the ball. It's just the mentality of how to play. Really is it's playing with a passion, high intensity. Everything you got to go get the ball. And that's most of the time that's when it comes out.
Ryan, Pete Carroll said yesterday that a few weeks ago the NFL sent out some cut-ups of what is and isn't defensive pass interference. He thought it was very helpful. Do you have any impressions of that as to clarifying what defenders can do on the field?
Well, that's a loaded question. Yeah, look, we're coaching our guys in techniques and fundamentals that obviously we don't want any penalties, not one penalty. And sometimes there's penalties that happen in the battle, the heat of the game, and sometimes those are unavoidable. But we're coaching our guys to play with the proper fundamentals and techniques so we don't put the official or ourselves in a position where it may look like or may be pass interference. That's really the emphasis has been, fundamentals and technique, be in a good football position, make a play on the ball.
Ryan, I apologize if I missed this, but obviously you guys played Geno last year.
Mm-hmm.
But now that he's the guy there, they kind of changed the way they operate the offense more around his skill set? Differently than they did last
I just think he's playing more comfortable. He's just been in it longer, and the more time he's been there, he knows where to. He's making decisive decisions with the football. The ball's coming out of his hands quick, and he's got playmakers outside. The two wideouts are big-time football players, and they're running the ball really well, which helps them too. So I think the combination of everything is what you're saying.
What makes him different to defend against?
Well, look, he's very mobile, and I don't think he gets enough credit for being as mobile as he really is, because he gets out of a couple of, he looks like he's getting sacked, and all of a sudden he pops out and he'll run for 10, and it's a first down, and he keeps the drive going. But I really think that he's playing really smart football. You can see, and he knows where the read is, he knows the coverage. I mean, he's getting the ball out and he's firing. I mean, he's made some really good throws this year, so it's going to be a big challenge.
Is the success that Lockett has had in general, and that tight end, the young tight end they have, I forget his name, with the 3 touchdown catches, is that what you're talking about, where he's not over relying on
you know, all their players, you know, and the big thing that they are running the ball really well. So that helps, you know, you're getting second and manageables and third and shorts, and they're keeping the drive going. But I think as their skill position, they are pretty good. I mean, across the board. I think the receivers are outstanding. I think the tight ends are solid football players who catch the football. And then, you know, they're hanging on to the football. They're not turning it over, you know. So they are. It's a much better offense than when we played last year. So it is a good challenge.
With what Geno's been able to do in manufacturing their offense, they've been great through the air and ground, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
What is an area you can take advantage of or limit them?
Well, I think we just have to play our game, and we just have to execute our plan. And I think if we do that, you know, we have the players, you know, to make the plays when the plays need to be made and hold them down, you know, offensively. And so it's more about us than it is about them.
We've seen first pair of games this season was 1 sack combined by this defense, 6 sacks combined in the most recent 2.
Yeah.
What's been going right over the course of this last pair of games?
We're just staying the course. You know, we're just continuing fundamentals and technique, you know, and just everything that we've done here for however many years that we've been doing it. And, you know, like sometimes you start slow, you know, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And so each week is another test. And, hey, look, we're just trying to affect the quarterback as much as we possibly can every single time he throws the ball.
Has the style of quarterback played a role in it as well? I mean,
No, I think it's been more about us, to be honest with you. You know, and the guys, you know, you know, getting in the flow of the season and game to game and, you know, pass rushing and just repetition. And, you know, they've just taken the next step. And we just want to make that big of a jump this week, and we'll be okay. So.
You know, Ryan, the first 4 weeks, I think, is the top 5 defense in terms of holding to field goals in the red zone. You know, obviously the best red zone defense is to not get there at all, but, you know, what are some of the keys that have helped this team stand out in that department to this point?
Well, I think stopping the run, and then how we cover. I think our red zone coverage is fantastic. You know, with Dennis Collin and Chris, you know, the scheme and the fundamentals of how they're playing in the back end really creates tight windows for the quarterback to throw. They're holding the ball a little bit more. You know, we're forcing them to more longer yards, third and longer, you know, situations, which that obviously helps, you know, down there. So I think it's a combination of a bunch of stuff, but it all goes back to the scheme and the players that are executing the scheme. I mean, I think our guys are executing pretty good in the red zone.
Ryan, somebody mentioned style of quarterback earlier. Like, I know you're not so much concerned with other defenses in the league, just yours, but do you feel like defensive players in today's NFL like go for the ball more than normal, like when they're tackling, like going for short and stuff like that?
Well, I think that's just the emphasis of, you know, securing the tackle and getting the ball, you know, and I don't know more or less. I can't comment on that, but I do know that it is something that we focus on every day, you know, and taking the ball away is really, it's the number one stat in winning and losing football games. You know, and the more we can take it away and give our offense favorable field position and it helps our football team, you know, all around. And so taking the ball away and tackling are the two things, you know, that you have to do to play good defense. You know, so it's always an emphasis.
Ryan, we've been asked some players about this, but from the coach's perspective, and the team's 1-3, but it's kind of had some winnable games. You guys have been in a position to win.
Yeah.
How do you guys view the situation you're in versus, you know, what's still in front of you? Like, players kind of saying there's no sense of panic in a sense for
Yeah, so look, it's just a one-game season. Doesn't matter what happens after this game. So we're not looking to the next opponent after Seattle. It's all about the New Orleans Saints, and that's where we're focused, is ourselves, our plan, our players, our fundamentals, our technique. And then all of that will take care of itself if we just go 1-0 this week. And that's the focus, and it'll always be every single week. We'll just be 1-0. Let's focus on this opponent. And then when those games end up down there, we'll be in position to, you know, playoffs and so on and so forth. But we're not. The season's so early. Nobody's panicking. Let's just go out and play a complete football game and see what happens.
Can you speak at all to how important the veteran leadership in this locker room is to what you just discussed, just people that have been there before?
Sure. You know, we've had a lot of guys have a lot of success here, you know, over 6-7 years in a row, you know, so, and a lot of those guys are still here, you know, Cam Jordan, Mark Ingram, I mean, those guys have been through some ups and downs. I think 2017 we started 0-2 and made the playoffs. So look, we've been here before, and we know how to get out of it. And getting out of it is all about the Saints. Let's just take care of what we do, and the end result will take care of itself.
Would you say that you're proud of the way that the players have reacted to the start so far this season?
I'll tell you, we've had a lot of energy in practice this week. Coming back from London and the long flight and all that. And look, I think the guys are past that and already focused on to the next opponent, which is pretty cool. I was a little surprised by the energy and the juice they had on Wednesday. I thought it was really good. So they're feeling good, and so that's half the battle. Is how you feel. Is a lot of how you play, and so. But we're just being positive and just taking it one day at a time. And again, it's just about us.